Hey guys, what's up? David.
Hey.
My favorite type of episode is the episodes in which you and I are not on different screens.
That's true. But actually, I thought you were going to be here doing the fireside chat.
Yes.
Being very calm and collected in our living, not our living room, but in a living room.
Yeah.
But let's put some of that over there so you can see you more. No, me more. There you go.
There, yeah.
But no, we are in the same location. We're in Orlando.
Yes.
And anybody who follows the attractions industry at all knows that this is the Super Bowl.
It is.
It really is. It's where if you're a vendor, if you're just a fan, if you're part of a park venue,
anything,
it's just a week to get no sleep, to eat a lot of food, free food.
Good free food.
Yeah, good free food sometimes, and just to be down here. It's a great venue, a great expo.
Yeah, it's huge too. Like I think if you've never been to IAAPA Expo before, one of the things that just shocks me every time I see the expo, of course, is the size of the show floor, but it's actually the size of the infrastructure that surrounds the expo.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Between the bus lines that they run to get people to and from their resorts, between the number of sessions that they have.
They have a ton of it. Well, before we go to like what the current setup is.
Yeah.
And by the way, when I'm in Orlando, we have a bunch of different locations that we record at. We've recorded at the IAAPA offices.
Yep.
We've recorded at the Innovative Studios.
Yes.
And this is not a living room. This is we were actually in an off room somewhere at Saratoga Springs Resort on Disney property.
Yeah.
Which has great internet speeds. I struggle with that, and Clete is a new entrant into that.
Yes.
But speaking of the IAAPA Expo, just want to ask, what was your first year going?
2022.
2022.
And I was there for only, I think, 2 days, maybe 3. Maybe I got there on Wednesday.
Okay.
But I think I got in Wednesday night, and then I was at Thursday. I did one education session.
Okay.
It was on something I had no idea what I was. I mean, I truly had no idea what was going on. And then I was 16. I didn't know. I just stumbled in.
Just
there.
a kid.
Yeah, truly.
So I have to know, because everybody has a different story, different impression. Your first time that you came in, you go in and you go down that escalator.
Yeah.
Because the 2022, you came with us that year, didn't you?
I did. Yep.
Okay. We had a 10 by 20 booth that year.
Yep.
And we only got in the year before because there's no wait list, because basically exhibitors from Europe and in Asia were absent because of COVID still going on. So 2022 is really the first year back after being canceled in 2020, and 2021 was a much smaller show. But so 2022 was, I believe they were back to everything was full. So you come down the escalator. What's your first impressions?
Honestly, my very first thought was, are those a bunch of inflatables?
You came in the North Concourse set.
I did, and I was thinking, what are they doing? Why are there so many inflatables? The inflatable industry is huge. That's why. Yeah. I mean, there was a very solid answer to that.
And if you've never been, the North Concourse of the trade show floor, which used to be nothing took place there. You could go in and get it registered, but there's no classes, no.
Yep.
And really, they had concessions lined in the back. There really wasn't a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Now it's both sides, and next year it's going to be across the street as well. But so basically, at that time, the entire northeast corner of the convention center, which is huge, it's nothing but inflatables.
Yeah.
Nothing but inflatables everywhere.
And then they go outside too.
Yes.
The inflatables too. So that was my very first impression was that. But then I saw. Of course, being a coaster enthusiast, I had seen lots of footage from IAAPA of coaster car unveilings. That was, before I knew much about the industry, that was what IAAPA was to me. It was the place where they did the coaster car unveilings.
Yeah.
And
still is.
Yeah, and they still do that there, as we'll talk about in a moment. But that was kind of the thing that I was looking for. Where are the coaster cars? And I remember after going through those doors, the first coaster car I saw was Pipeline. Which at SeaWorld, I've ridden now, and I've been on that coaster car, but it is cool to see that, and to see their effort that they put in with bringing, with Pipeline, that was going to end up in Orlando anyway. But with some of these rides, you'll see the coaster car, and then it'll end up way far away from either the manufacturer or the city of Orlando. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the picture that we had on the screen just a second ago, if you're watching on YouTube, it's blacked out. You can't really see a whole lot,
Yeah.
which it just adds to the mystique. Because you go down the escalator, you hit the floor. I remember, I think my first year was 15 or 16,
Okay.
one of the two. And I remember my business partner at the time, which was Reinberger.
Yeah.
And we're not in business together anymore, but we're still very friendly back and forth. Actually, I'll get into a little bit later. One of the unveilings today, he's messaging me, make sure you send the pictures to get them right away.
Yeah.
Which, a good soldier, I did. And he may have even posted them to the Tower Topic site.
Yeah.
But you come down there, and we were going to do this, we were going to do this, we were going to do, and meet with this person and do this thing, and take everything by the bull by the horns. We're going to do this. You get down there at the end of the escalator, you walk in the room, and immediately you're just lost.
Yeah.
It's the enormity of it is just so overwhelming,
Yeah.
and you just get to think to yourself, like, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember my first IAAPA, I spent a lot of time on the show floor because I didn't know about the edu sessions as much. I was just on the show floor mostly. And I mean, 2 full days of being there, I was still lost for every second of those days. I never got my bearings about it.
I think one year I tried to walk every aisle.
Okay, good idea.
But no, I didn't like blinders on. I walked and didn't stop anywhere.
Okay.
Because I want to see how long did it really take to go through there.
Yeah.
And it took me about 2 hours to walk it, just nothing but walking.
That's insane.
2 hours.
So yesterday, during an incredible session, by the way, with Andrew Wexler.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, and Lauren Crosby. And presented by Fun World, it was an absolutely phenomenal interview with the two of those, talking about expansion, talking about how to do guest experience the right way, talking about service
From two companies that really know a lot about it.
They do, and they do it right.
Yes.
You're not going to find people who say that Hershend or Holiday World are bad to their guests. That's just not even a thought. So, but during that, they mentioned the number of aisle space this year was 9 miles. 9 miles. That's insane.
I'm wondering if I was right that it might have taken me more than 2 hours.
It might, but it could have been. That was 21.
I might have been jogging.
Yeah. Right. So that's just insane to me. And maybe that's like, okay, imagine a grid. Maybe it's 9 miles if you count both ways of the grid.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do each aisle this way, you've pretty much seen everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if that.
No, but I noticed this year because every year, with the exception of 2022, and in most of the European some of the European companies came back in 21.
Yep.
Although with all the grief that's happened with the shipping, some of their stuff didn't arrive, and then
Sure.
having a show floor with some carpet in it, of course, and a table back sitting there. But in 22, when things came back, there's places where certain things are every year. And this year is the first time probably at least since 21 or 22, there's a lot more variety of things there this year.
Nice.
And normally at any expo, there's about 50 different massage chair booths, and they have big spaces they take up. There might be as many vendors, but not as much space.
Yes.
Which is kind of a good thing,
Probably
because then there's other things that people are exhibiting.
Yeah.
So this year there's a lot of variety. I think a lot of different things here, which is great.
Yeah. And my biggest takeaway from my first IAAPA was definitely the specificity with which the exhibitors exist. These are not, your economic niche is not attractive. Your economic niche is roller coaster wheels.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
That's great. How is that a company that you just do roller
that's
coaster
all I do.
wheels? And there's 3 of them.
Yeah,
like this
I was
year.
going to say, it's not just one.
Yeah, there's 3 companies that just build roller coaster wheels. There is at least 4 or 5 different exhibitors that do trampoline park socks. Those sticky socks.
Yeah.
That's important. But that's crazy to me. And I think that's just goes to show how much room there is and how many passionate, caring people we need in this industry to keep it going for the future. Yeah.
It's a really great event. If you've never been there, and of course, there's probably a significant number of people that are probably working in attractions that view this,
Yep.
and there is equally as there are probably more fans of sites. Parks that are on this that left over from when Don and Ryan were hosting. But even so, there's a lot of fans that come here.
Oh yeah.
Fridays used to be the last day of the show. Used to be public to come in. I don't know what the cost of it was to come in,
Right.
but now it's also is. other than the fact that there's no education sessions that I'm aware of on the last day.
There are none, yeah.
It's business as usual on the show floor.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, when we exhibited, we did more business on Friday than we did the other 3 days combined, because the decision makers, it's pretty much just the decision makers, because they've sent we'll call it the essential people back to the venue, back to the park.
Okay.
And so it was the decision makers walking around, and at that point you're like, oh, this person's coming here. They're here to talk business.
So, yeah, they're here to.
Which reminds me, America's theme park technologist Matt Miller.
Yeah.
Been on the show. I thought maybe we would connect with him down here. His birthday was yesterday, by the way.
Happy birthday, Matt.
And it's the quick story with him, and one of those business decision makers. So he's walking around, and he used to work. He had a career at Universal, and he had of course, his career Orlando and Florida.
Yeah.
But the guy's extremely connected.
Yeah.
He knows people. He knows where the bodies are buried, this place, and so I became friends with Matt, professional friends, and friendly outside of that during the pandemic.
Yep.
There's a networking group that he and I were both mutually involved in, and when that kind of went away, we maintained connection. And so we're walking around. I think he might have come in on our list that year too, but irrelevant. So he's walking around, and he asked us what we were doing. And at that time, the attractions group did interactive technology.
Yep.
And I just kind of explained to him, this is the thing that we do. And he's like, oh, one of my friends, he needs to see this. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to go get one of his friends from Orlando and they're going to come here and look at it.
Yeah.
And of course, I've still got my lanyard on from today. So there's two people comes up that follow him back up, and it's just me out there talking. I'm talking to Matt, and I'm introducing myself. And these lanyards, of course, this says who I am and where I work at, whatever. But a lot of times it gets flipped like this.
Yeah.
So Matt doesn't go through and say, this is my friend Mike, this is my friend Doug, I think is his name, Mike and Doug. Doesn't say where they're from.
Okay, yeah.
And their things are flipped over. And I'm explaining, and and Matt, in his genius, he says, this is Mike, this is Doug, and I'm going to go ahead and leave. So he just leaves. He leaves me with Mike and Doug, two people I've never met before. I don't know who they are. And so okay, well, I'm just gonna do the introduction of what we're doing here. And so I'm thinking, I'm not talking to anyone of any significance.
Yeah, you didn't know, yeah.
So I'm being very high level and very, if these are people just walk around, they don't care about this really. So I'm just being very, very vague to let them get on their way. And so all of a sudden, Doug leans over to do something, and it's Doug Cal. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Okay.
It flips over, Senior Vice President of Universal Creative. Like, oh, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh, crap. What have I been saying? And so I'm kind of thinking, okay, so there's actually somebody of significance here. And I'm thinking, okay, what have I been, and I'm talking at the same time thinking, what have I been saying? I need to change this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I get kind of done making a fool of myself. And then Mike, his tag, and he's looking like this around, he turns over, his thing flips over, I'm like, aha, I'm going to be able to tell who I'm talking to. And Mike Hightower, president of Universal Creative. And I'm like doing a cuss out of myself in the back of my head thinking, okay. And I don't remember what I said. Of course, we shook hands. Hey, yeah, we'll follow up after this.
Perfect.
We did for a little bit.
Okay, good.
And then Doug retired a few months later, and then I don't think either one of them at the Universal Creative anymore. But and so I see Matt. Yeah, Matt and his genius. He comes walking by, and he's always got a big smile on his face.
Yeah,
he's not laughing. He's not making a joke. He's just you listen to his voicemail message. Sometimes I will call him knowing he's not going to pick it up just so I can hear it. And so he comes walking up, and I just looked at Matt and said, all you would have had to do was just turn around and say, he's the president. I don't know if you heard that. Just mouth the words, he's the president, and then walk off.
Yeah, right.
He just dropped these two in front of me, and he just left.
Well, I've been around you guys in person when you brought this up with him before, and what he says, and I'll defend him.
There's two sides to every story.
What he always says is, if I would have told you who they were, you would have got too nervous. It would have
I
been
might have told him something a little more than whatever the story I came up with.
Yeah, that's good. That's
We never ended up installing interactive technology Universal Creative. That tells you how it went.
Well, maybe.
We all parted friends.
Yeah, that's good. That's what matters. And that's how the industry is. That's how you never know who you're talking to.
Yeah, and also people know each other.
Yeah, everybody knows.
It's very intriguing because after going there for, I think that I've been there at least 7 to 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
7 of the last 8 years,
Yeah.
not counting 2020, which of course didn't happen. And you start recognizing the same people.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like you're like kind of like, hey, you're familiar. No, you know their name. They know your name.
Yeah.
It's a great show, very innovative. And it's a great industry to be involved in.
Yes.
And I love coming down to it.
Great, and it's a great place. If you are not working in the attractions industry, but you want to be, it's the place to be.
Yeah.
It's the place to be to make connections with, of course, HR people. Like you could get a job on the show floor, I'm sure. But more importantly, you can just make, learn things that will help you when that job opportunity comes around, help you in an interview, but also help you on the day-to-day to actually do the job, to know what those pitch points look like.
Speaking of the education sessions.
Yes.
How many have you gone to? This is day 2. There's 2 more days left.
So I think I did 4 today, and yesterday I did, I think 4 also.
Okay.
So and then on Sunday night I did an educational tour of Fun Spot. So
Okay.
9, something like that.
So talk about, because I was not here Sunday.
Okay.
I was up for 20 hours on Monday. My flight left Cincinnati at 5. Takes about an hour to get down there. So I was up from 2:00 in the morning until midnight last night. And I was up.
Brutal.
Yeah, I was up early enough to be there before everything started today. So tell us about the education, the edu-tour
Yes.
of Fun Spot.
So it was incredible. It was at Fun Spot Orlando, so the one by Universal, the one closer to the convention center. John Airy Jr. kicked it off.
It's huge.
It's huge. Yeah. He's the kind of head of the company now. Fun Spot, and his dad's retired and everything like that. He told us a little bit about his strategy when it comes to the future, but he talked a lot about his team. And it was just really clear that his focus is on his team. Both his focus in the way he wants to, they're his priority, but also they're his priority because he believes every bit of their success has come from, which I think is a lot of times the case in not just attractions, but greater hospitality, greater like entertainment. Like you need people, and so, that was really cool to hear him talking about the kinds of things they do to promote retention, and then to also hear it, put it to words. There was a moment in the tour when he went down the line of his executive team, his CFO and his food and beverage director and all this stuff. And they asked them, how long have you been with Fun Spot? And it was like 35 years, 29 years, 17 years. And then there were young people. And I was like, well, this person hasn't been there that long. They're like 11 years. Gosh. You must have started working there when you were 16. You've been there 11 years. So it was really cool to see that. And then after John spoke, they went and took us around to some of the different areas of the park. Of course, I'd been, so that part was, I'd been to the park. So, it was a super novel to me.
In one way or another, if you're coming to the expo, there's a good chance you're going to end up at Fun Spot at some point.
That's right.
Because they have meetups there. Some of the larger companies
Yeah.
end up having mixers at them.
Yeah, TEA, the Themed Entertainment Association, they do a mixer there. I think Ames, the ride safety company, does an event there. Maybe Future Theme Park Leaders Association does an event. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes on. But it was great. It was really cool. Got to meet some people there. And then they did some little breakout classes where they talked about maintenance, operations, food and beverage, and HR. That was great. And also just HR being one of the 4 breakout sessions you have really, once again, highlights that they care about their people. They do, which is cool. It's just cool. So that was
HR, props people want to do that.
Yeah.
I could not do HR. I want no part of that.
Okay. So what about you? What's been your, I don't know, maybe the coolest session you've gotten to attend this expo?
Well, normally over the past number of years, I've come to IAAPA as pretty much exclusively as a vendor.
Yeah.
And so there weren't really a lot of education sessions for vendors to go to. And not that there aren't any, but most of the times the vendors are the ones presenting.
Yeah, exactly.
So this year I kind of find myself in a little hybrid situation because truth be known, and I'm not breaking any news, but we are in the precipice of maybe transitioning to
Yeah.
Still staying on the vendor side. And I don't know how this works out membership wise, but being owning a venue over the next year.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of things
It's
up
in the air.
There's
It's in the air.
There's a property we're looking at. It's not officially for sale. There's some other properties we're looking at. And so we're
Okay.
sifting around. So that could be happening. So I took a little more of an interest in the education sessions this year, going from maybe doing one the entire week to I think I did 5 yesterday, and I did 4 today, and I was going to do a 5th one to the point where I'm like, I literally your head just gets so full. Of, and sometimes it's intriguing and insightful, the things that they say, but also triggers things in your head like, oh yeah, this business plan that I've had for a number of months, year, whatever, that it keeps getting modified. It's all marked up because I hear something at this seminar, this session, and like, oh yeah, and you jot that down. But I'd say the one that was very intriguing, Matt Heller, who's been on the podcast, I believe he was on with Donna Ryan. He's been on with us at least once. He had a session on everything he needed to know about negotiating. He learned from his dog.
That's right.
And literally, I told him afterwards, when he and I spoke, and I said, that is literally where I'm going to exist at for the next year, because from trying to buy a property to negotiating for whatever attractions or whatever it may be, we're going to be in the
You're going to be in the selling.
Yes.
Or the buying.
Yeah. So that for me, I told him that if I didn't see any other session this week, I wanted to be at that one. And Matt's a great guy, but it wasn't because that's because it's very relevant. And any position that someone would have, if you're working venue side or guest facing side in the attractions industry, there's literally a session that can really poke you to, I had no idea, or that's useful. So, and
I've been really enjoying the specific sections on things that I don't know anything about. I'm not a food and beverage guy. I've gone to like 3 food and beverage sections. Just because how else would I learn about it? I don't work with it every day. So it's cool to do stuff like that too. I do want to talk about the show floor a little bit, because there have been some cool things. Neither of us have had that much time to actually see the show floor.
And actually, when I met you up on the floor before we came over here to do this, I went up for a couple of the announcements today, which we'll get into a couple of them. But really, I was in the session talking to people or whatever in the member lounge, and then zipped up for the press conference, and then zipped right back. So when we walked around for that 30 minutes, that's about the extent of what I've done.
I was out there for maybe 30 minutes before I met with you, but that's about it for me too. I was there for about an hour all day. So, but nonetheless, there were some cool things. Starting off, we have some photos to go with it. So forgive me for reaching forward.
We brought props.
Yes, we did. Starting off, we got to talk about the Phantom Theater presentation from Sally Dark Rides. Now, you actually saw the unveiling of this?
Yeah, I took that picture.
Okay, so I saw it later, but I was in a session when they did the unveiling.
And I've got to be, I don't know if they didn't want people carrying cameras on the floor because they didn't want the press conference stuff getting out to the fan side, so people are like, oh, we know this is this. But I think with how just common phones are, they kind of realized
it's a losing battle.
So I wasn't the only one videotaping. I had the thing where they pulled the curtain back, which I don't have the picture on there, but if you had gone to Kings Island 2 summers ago, 2 or 3, or maybe both 2 and 3 summers ago, they had Phantom Theater replay or whatever the show was. And they had what are the attendants called at the anyway, they were makeup and dressed like dead people. Which was pretty cool.
It was fun. Today. It was fun. And they were there. That was cool. Now, this is obviously a huge project for Sally Dark Rides, who's been just on a tear. They've been building some really awesome projects recently. Their SpongeBob project at Legendia. They did a huge Sesame Street project with United Parks, which was super exciting. So that's really cool to see. And that's more to come, of course, with that project in Cincinnati, but I'm excited for that. Now, a project we talked about recently on the show, Nightflight Expedition.
let's not leave this for a second because
Okay,
honestly,
okay.
and they brought up a little bit of this in the press conference, and I don't know if they publish those or I'm sure someone's
I'm
got
sure
that
they're
on
recorded,
YouTube somewhere. But really, in props to Kings Island, I would say Legacy Cedar Fair because to install this attraction was definitely a Cedar Fair project because
Sure.
the merger didn't happen until last summer. So
Yeah.
and this has been in the works for longer than that.
Yeah.
It's really truly an instance where you can look at and say where the people that go to the park, the faithful people who attend, move the needle.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
they had the show and people just kept talking about the show. And then the ride itself, the original Phantom Theater was only in existence for 10 or 11 seasons, something like that.
Yeah.
And then it went to a Scooby-Doo themed, same ride vehicle, and same basic layout, but people just kept talking about Phantom Theater.
Yeah.
Just kept talking about it. And then they did the show in 22, I think, 22 or 23. And it had such a response that they did it the following year.
Yeah.
And then the clamoring for it just continued to grow. And then they made a corporate decision that they're going to rebirth this ride.
Yeah.
And so here it is.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
It is. I mean, it's a very tangible thing that you can point to and say the people that the faithful to go to the park move the needle on this.
Josh Lieberman today from Attraction Pros gave a great edgy talk about how to respond to guest feedback and why it's so important.
Yes.
And this is a great example of that in action for sure from Kings Island. Okay.
All right. Now
I'm going to jump the gun and talk about Nightflight Expedition. And we spent a lot of time talking about it recently with Mr. Eugene Naughton himself. So we are no stranger to this project here on the show, but the ride vehicles were unleashed today. And I think that looks pretty awesome.
Which is typically when they do these announcements,
Yeah.
they have them covered up for the first couple of days or until the announcement is,
Yep.
and then they pull the unveiling.
Of course.
They don't have. I've talked to some people who are like, oh, when they do the press conference, they're going to do the video. Like, oh, no, there's not really a big screen for hundreds of people to see it. It's normally they have a couple people from the company get up and they talk, and then from the venue get up and talk, and then they pull the cover back, and here's either the ride vehicle or something from the ride, like Sally Dark Ride.
Yeah, exactly. And this was great. Eugene talked, the folks from Mock Rides talked a little bit about the conveyance system and everything of that nature. And I think we all are looking forward to seeing the progress.
Oh my goodness, yes, it's going to be a reason to visit Dollywood.
Oh yeah,
it really is, because if you've seen the video, I've never seen anything like it before in my life.
Yeah,
and in talking to Wes Ramey, who is also on the show
PR
back
director,
in the Behind the Scare series, he said there's a park in Europe that has something similar.
Same conveyance system in France. Yeah.
So you talked to him also, or you just
that
know
one,
never mind. So, but it's a very unique system, and there's nothing that's stateside yet, and because normally you look through the ride video, and it does a number of things. It has hills, it has whatever, and you also go through water. So I'm thinking to myself, so how do you go on a roller coaster track in water? It has to be whatever channels through there. No, it's on a track the whole time. Yeah. And I can't wait to. My family were doing the Christmas in Pigeon Forge.
Nice.
We're going to go to Dollywood, and at the same time, well, I got to go back in the summer too because
you are going to.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the point of adding new attractions, right? So then, additionally, I don't have a photo of this one, but you got to look it up. I'm sure you've probably seen it by now, to be honest. But Universal Destinations, in partnership with Intamin, has announced their car for the Hollywood Drift roller coaster coming to Universal Studios Hollywood in 2026. And it is like, okay, I don't know how to explain this, but like, when you ride a roller coaster and the car is themed to a car, like the roller coaster train is themed to like an automobile. And it's like, okay, it kind of looks like a car.
Yeah. The closest one I can think of is the Aerosmith.
Yeah.
It was a car. The whole thing is a stretch limo.
It's a car. Yeah. This is like that, except it's.
No, it's nothing like that. It is a car.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know how to. It's like enormous, but it's only 2 across.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be like a luxury. You're riding in style.
Yeah.
It's great. So that's cool. Great job to Intamin for. I mean, that's going to be, I think, a very accessible ride vehicle, but also like just a great experience for everybody who's on it. So that's great.
And I really think we may have to do another recording. I don't know when we do that, because over the next 2 days, especially Friday when there's
Yes.
when there's no education sessions and I have no one to really talk to about business stuff, to explore the floor.
Yeah.
Because there's only two, literally, other than the 30 minutes we were together, I went out for those two announcements and that was it.
Yeah.
I was back in the sessions the rest of the day. And there's a lot more to take pictures of,
Yes.
to comment on.
Yeah.
These are just two announcements. Now they have announcements every 15 minutes.
Pretty much. And I would say Coaster Studios, Taylor Bybee does a great job making sure that those things are filmed most of the time and put up. So we would, we'll be here to talk about them, I'm sure, in the future. But if you're looking for like day of coverage, go over there. I think they'll have some great stuff. Now, there was one more thing I did want to talk about that I did see on the show floor today,
Okay, go for it.
which was, so Falcon Creative Group, who is a great creative group for dark rides, for scenic things all across the themed entertainment world, is now a manufacturer. With Falcon.
Do they still have both sides?
Yes.
Okay.
They're two separate companies, is the way I understand it. But
Okay.
now Falcon Attractions is going to be building vehicles for dark rides, start to finish. So that is super exciting.
That's going to be some storytelling.
Absolutely. Give them an opportunity to work with themselves on the full package. So I'm really excited to see, maybe they'll get some sales this week and we'll get to see an installation of theirs in the near future somewhere.
They're really cool. I don't think, is there a company that does that currently?
I mean,
Yeah, they're feeding two ponds.
I don't know. I'm sure there are, but they literally does both media and like instantly, like full in the dark ride world. I don't think so. I guess Sally does creative sides too, but usually they're in partnership with the park's creative team. Whereas the whole point of Falcon is to do the whole creative process from start to finish.
Right.
So that's interesting. I mean, I think the closest would be like WDI. They do create,
It'd be very interesting to see what kind of stuff they can come up with.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see. So this is some great stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to get some contacts to have some future interviews with here on the show as well. Speaking of the show, we're going to be switching up the format, the way we do the show going into 2026 a little bit.
Maybe doing a little bit of a different musical number at the beginning.
Okay.
And maybe change that up.
Okay. The rock song is good, but maybe it's time for some variety.
Maybe some jazz.
Oh, I can like that. Calm us down a little bit.
Yeah.
We need it.
Before we get wound up.
Yeah, that's good. So tell us, what's it going to look like in 2026?
More topical things, because over the last year we've done a lot of I'll call them one-off interviews.
Yes, it's a little sporadic.
We have Eugene Naughton on. He's talking about Dollywood.
It's great.
But the next week we'll have on
National Roller Coaster Museum.
Yeah. So which is fine. And a lot of places do that, and we're by no means geniuses at this.
No.
But so for what it's worth, we talked about this, and we think we're going to go down the path of doing topical things.
Yep.
More of operational things, being consistent. For February, for instance, maybe doing sustainability. Sustainability is a big push industry-wide from IAAPA. They have a director that is overseeing the endeavors.
Sustainability.
Right, sustainability. And what are the four pillars? Four pillars as we determine them to be, to talk about what sustainability means in the attractions industry. Is it energy efficiency? Is it recycling? Is it and maybe get into the weeds a little bit with people who know those things.
Yeah, exactly.
We can ask questions, but really I'm a dumb guy, so I need to ask someone to know
Me
things. and then in March, I forget what we talked about.
March, I think we're going to highlight ticketing solutions.
There you go.
So have on some vendors, maybe Accesso, Gateway. I'm going to butcher their name. Ticka something. I don't know.
Ticka something.
Yes, there's some great ticketing solutions.
Well, fortunately, there's probably a lot of companies whose names start like that. So, well, they're not talking about us.
Yeah. That's good. That is fortunate. Yeah.
And then April, getting ready to roll out the summer season.
Yep.
At least in the spring. What better to talk about than having people on that have the big attractions that they want to tout before they even officially open?
Yes.
So
Perfect time.
Nightflight, I would love to get if there's on schedule to open.
Yep.
The park opens in March.
Yeah. Park opens in
Okay.
March. Yep.
Yeah, I try to do a little sleuth work and figure out, is it going to open on time?
They said spring.
Yeah.
That's all they've said.
So of course they wouldn't tell me anything, and if they did, I probably wouldn't say it anyway. But for where I've seen the construction pictures are, March would seem a little quick.
Yeah,
So
it's possible.
but I
It's
have
spring.
nothing to
It's
base
spring.
it on.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we have no idea.
So even so, a lot of seasonal parks don't open up in March.
Yep.
So we will have them on to tout the already open ride.
Yes, which will be great.
Yeah.
That'll be really exciting. And if there's any other topics that you'd like to see us talk about for a month and highlight some different solutions of, let us know. We'd like to, now's a great time for us to start.
Yeah, anything in operations or creative design.
Yeah.
We have a number of people actually a couple of people that were going to come on in the fall that for one reason or another it didn't work out. And how we normally did it was we had someone lined up for every week.
Yeah.
And if someone backed out, rather than try to fill that gap, we just Clete and I would run our mouths off on something. But and actually, for what it's worth, we had an inventory of interviews for a while.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think we've done a live
since 2 or 3 weeks.
Maybe longer, because when I was down here and we recorded with over at Innovative Studios with Dewan Rivers and Matt Miller. Yeah. And since then we've had a stock of ones that we posted, and now that we're coming up to the holidays, we'll probably have to do a few more. Yeah. But we'll at least get something else, because the next couple of days we go to the expo, there's going to be more to talk about.
Absolutely. Because
there's about 98% of the show floor we haven't seen.
Literally. So this is really exciting. I can't wait to see some of the tech. I just love the tech. I saw a machine today, that takes your picture, and uses AI to draw a caricature of you. Like, it's a caricature artist, but it does it in like 15 seconds with an AI-based drawing mechanism. But so some really cool technology that we'll get to see over the next couple of days for sure. Well, David, is there anything we've missed? I'm sure.
I don't know where we're going to post this. We'll probably post this pretty quick, because IAAPA will be old news. Yeah. So maybe I'll say this question for the next one. Okay. I'll give you a heads up to think about it. Okay. Thanksgiving tradition.
Oh, wow.
What do you do Thanksgiving wise that would be entertaining that someone might get a chuckle out of?
That's a great question.
You have to think about that.
Yeah, I might have to. My grandma makes the greatest stuffing in the world.
Well, we'll talk about
okay. All right. We will. I do want to mention one thing real quick before we end this episode. On LinkedIn will be posting a blog post starting December 5th every Friday for a year. These blog posts are going to be like essays, so to speak, about why the people that do what we do, the people that work in the attractions industry, manifestly make the world better. Because I think when you're working in fun, it kind of seems like the stakes are really low. Like we're just doing this for fun, whatever. Yeah. But I think that's actually not true. And we actually change the world in ways that we don't see a lot of times.
Well, in Cedar Fair at one time, I think their logo was "Fun is Serious Business."
That's right. Absolutely.
And I probably botched that up, but it's a great logo.
Yeah.
For slogan.
No, it is, and it's true too. So if you're connected with me on LinkedIn, look out for that. And if you're not, I'll put that link. Yeah, guys, come on. I'll put the link down in the description below. But thanks for watching this week on the Attractions Group. We'll see you back here soon.